Right, showcasing deck profile on Lord Slug. So starting off the first card of the deck, we have 4 super combos. Pretty self-explanatory. Best super combo in the game, personal opinion. Digs deeper into the deck after you awaken and just helps you push the game when you really need it. Main engine, or the main heart and soul of the deck, Wings. Once you have it on board, reduces the energy cost of Slug's armies in your hand by 1, and you can only control 1 copy of it, but when you see it, it steals games. I only play 2 the 3 blockers. I know a lot of people play 4, but I play 2, mainly just because it's not needed, especially with skillless running around. It doesn't really do much, it's just there in case my board gets cleared. Builds up my bond. Same goes for 2-drop Lord Slug. Main reason for him, I needed another way to search for the 4-drop in case I didn't open it, or in case I brick not opening slugs, wings. It just helps make my hand a bit more consistent, and I think 4 was unnecessary, 2 seemed fine, 3, you can try 3 if you want, but then the main core is the 3 drops and the 4. The 4-drop, he revives these 2, well mainly these 2, and untaps an energy. He's a 4-drop, but with wings he becomes 1. Basically meaning you get him out much faster, and it helps you go for your win con much quicker, which is this one. Reviving this one is necessary, well, it's necessary in certain situations, but the best one to go for always is this one. What he does is, on play, the opponent has to discard a card from hand, and he has an active main ability which can be used once per turn, every turn, to basically play this card from your hand for 1 energy. Really useful, especially but just for basically turn 3, you just get 3 strong 20k / crit bodies on board, which is always fun for the opponent. So that's the main core. For tech choices, the deck was mainly designed to compete against stuff like Height of Mastery and Skillless, so this was in there for Skillless. It did work, put in really useful, it was really useful against Skillless. It just cleared the 1-drops, and if you brought out 30k's quickly, just gets rid of them. I mained Krillin, mainly just because I've played this deck for a while, and my locals are just twats, so the main Taos. Nice to know. Alright. So just maining this just made us feel a bit more safe going against all the other players. Just felt comfortable having it. I saw it when I needed it, and sometimes I didn't, but I worked around it with this card. I think this is probably one of the best tech choices I've ever decided to put in this deck, mainly just because if you don't open wings, the deck becomes a bit harder to run, and it becomes a little bit more difficult to extend your players, or to be able to apply crit pressure or just early game aggro. So with having this on the board, it just really helps, because 2 cost 15k crit, it's always good. You can't complain. Especially in the sideboard as well, if you decide to go Crush's Crusher, you still have at least a turn 2 crit, even without the wings, which is necessary and important. For the finisher of the deck, I decided to go with 2 copies of this. 9 times out of 10 you see this often, most times than not, just due to the super combo. The super combo digs 2. It's really fast, you see it when you need it. Sometimes you win before you even need to use it, and then outside of that, just charge it. One last saying, mainly just because skillless, it's useful for getting around all the 1-drops and so on and so forth. Nice little 1-drop double strike out of nowhere. 2 Kronoas in the main board, mainly just against Height of Mastery, Broly, just because Shigesh is a thing, and I didn't want to go into a matchup and just lose instantly due to Shigesh. So I had to force them to play their cards, which bought us an extra turn or so. That's that. 1 Kami. I always play Kami in every deck I build, mainly just because it's in case anyone decides to go wide against us, or in case I can't clear the field faster than I think I can. It's just extremely useful. You might as well play it. Plus it's a draw 1 in case. 2 preemptives, mainly just because this is a solid green card in case you're going against those who are playing, for an example, foreseen hits. Even in skillless matchups, when they bring out the 30k's, you can just get rid of this. In Height of Mastery, just stop preemptive gets around Path to Greatness, that one. So yeah, pretty pretty self-explanatory. 9 times out of 10, charge, but outside of that, it's just really useful to have it. 4 shocking death balls, mainly just skillless and spark and negate, so it's just really useful. Defensive options in this deck isn't really like the defensive package in this deck isn't really that good. You're more trying to aggro against their hand. Having negates you can use when not having energy is really useful. Along with 2 sacrifice. Sacrifice is basically like a big tech version of Shock and Death Ball. You can take a life if your leader's Namekian to activate this from hand. So it's basically a Spark and Negate without the Sparking. Spicy tech were these 2. This just did work against Hirudegon Chain Attack. I just cleared the 1-drop Intensifying Power Trunks. It did work against Skillless when they played out the Krillins and the 1-drops and the Skillless. And it did work against Bojack as well, which was nice. That was my last matchup recently in Prelims. So this was really useful against Bojack. And then this is just because you revive so much in the deck, you draw and you never really neg in the hand just because you're always drawn by reviving. In that worst case scenario against Bojack, you just charge this. In the late game, if your hand gets destroyed, you literally can just go tap 4, revive back Bojack, evolve into 6-drop, spring for game, GG. So that's the main board. I'll quickly move on to the side. The side is an extra one of these, just in case, an extra preempt, in case I go against someone who's like heavy on 4 costs or lower. This was in case I saw Green Broly. I never sided this in. I sided this in. I didn't go for this. This was literally just in case of Green Broly. It gets rid of the 8 drops, 6 drops, sometimes even 4 drops, and it's really useful to force them up the chain because the moment they go up to the 8 drop and you kill it, it literally shuts them down. Broly's not that difficult to get around. This Height of Mastery swings over Path to Greatness. Really useful. It's 1 cost. It allows you to just swing over beefy things, and sometimes you can go for game with it if it's necessary for 1 energy. This TN, self-explanatory. It's good against any leader that untaps, well, especially blue and reds. This was against Skillless. It actually didn't work because you can build up a drop very quite quickly with the deck. It's not necessary to play anything other than these. It literally just steals 1-drops and 2-drops, so I can just steal their Skillless cards and be like, yep, swing, swing. 2 Crisis Crusher, self-explanatory. 1 No Escape Son Goku against Gogeta, and 2 minus Killie Zones for anyone who plays counter plays. That's the deck profile. Hope you enjoyed, and see ya.